Greetings, my fellow Americans. I'm here today with a State of the Union address on my F350. Let's get started. Hi everybody, Robert Lewis here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about this truck, talking about the current state of affairs, talking about some future projects that I've got already lined up, then talking about a few things that I'd like to do, some wish list items, then talk about a few big picture things, longer term stretch goals, things that I have in mind that I'd like to do. So this is a year 2000 F350. It's a dually crew cab 4x4. I have the 7.3 liter Power Stroke, and let's get under that hood. I'll show you the rest. So the first thing you'll notice under here is this big blue air filter. This is not the stock air box. This is a 6637 or Donaldson air filter. Studies have been done on this. It has like a 50% greater flow rate compared to stock. That's important because more air means more horsepower. The other thing that I love about this air intake is when I am driving through the neighborhood slowly and I lift my foot off the pedal, you can still hear that thing sucking air in. You can hear this little, that's just taking a deep breath. It's pretty cool. That blue plug right back there is the air intake heater delete. You don't need that around where I live. You only need that way up in Canada and Alaska. And so otherwise it's a large, like a prong that sticks in the middle of the tube and obstructs the airflow. So you can remove that and plug it up. I've also got a much larger upgraded glow plug relay. This is a White Rogers or a Stancor relay. The stock relay is about that size and it burns out very quickly. This one I've had in here for 10 years. I've also got AGM batteries. These are supposed to be much better batteries than flooded lead acid. Got two of them. I just put these in just a couple of months ago. There's a sticker on it. Oh my gosh, I guess it was a year ago. Anyways, they're the AGM batteries are supposed to better withstand the extra vibrational load that a diesel engine has. So they're supposed to last longer. The last one to see here is this thing. This is a fuel rail crossover from Riff Raff Diesel. Last summer I had a fuel leak in one of my fuel lines that come out of the side of the bowl over here, and so I had to replace them. I took the opportunity to upgrade. So the way this works is this truck has fuel rail on each side, on each head, and you've got an inlet that pumps fuel in from the fuel filter bowl. So it's a supply, and then that's it. It goes into the engine and it's consumed. If you're running a truck with higher performance modifications and consuming fuel at a higher rate, the furthest injector or cylinder on that fuel rail can be starved of fuel. I'm not doing that. It's not really my concern, but this does a lot of other things too. And in addition to increasing the fuel available in the rail, it will also remove air and allow fuel to just flow through the system a whole lot better, so your truck can idle more smoothly, things like that. So it's a good thing to add this circuitous return in your fuel system. So that's what I've done. This little guy right here is the main reason that this truck is not stock. This is a Hydra programmer, and it connects right down in here. You have your computer that runs your entire truck. This changes the programming, and you can add horsepower, you can improve your towing, it'll change the shift points for your transmission. There's a ton that is improved and changed when you do this upgrade. So it is no longer stock. I don't push this thing really hard. I'm running around most of the time on a plus 65 horsepower daily driver mode, and I'm getting 12s and 13s for fuel economy, so it's pretty good. It definitely gives a little more pep to it. And I guess the last thing I want to say is the instructions when you install it are hilarious. It's like 17 things you do, and you go through all the the first 16 steps, and you get down to the very last one, and it says, okay, before you go for a test drive, brush your teeth, because you're gonna be smiling nonstop, and that is the truth. It is so much more fun to drive than it used to be. So highly recommend it. I had friends telling me for years that I should get the programmer for this truck, and I wish I had listened to them when I first heard about it, because I went for years doing the whole I'm driving a stock truck, and you know, that's fine. But this is not pushing the limits beyond what it's capable of doing. This is just putting a little more in it, and it's a lot of fun. All right, now let's talk about the longer term projects that I've got. Not too much longer though. So look at that seat. Is that disgusting or what? I've got new leather that I bought for the whole front row. All leather, custom sewn, made to order. I got new foam for this seat and that seat because this one's pretty squished down and not all that comfortable. So while those are out, I am going to add in a heating element and a button on the dash for both driver and passenger seats. So I'm gonna have heated seats. This truck did not come with them. I don't even think that was an option in the year 2000, but it is now. I'm gonna bring this baby up to the future while all of those are out. So this is gonna give you a window into how I think too, because I overcomplicate things. So while the seats are out, I'm gonna also pull out this carpeting, wash it all, and then I'm going to lay down some sound deadening mats on the floor and up the firewall. This truck is loud, so if we can quiet this down even just a little bit, that would be a big improvement. So we can have conversations while we're driving. We don't need to be yelling. And it gets even worse now. So that's level 3 on while I'm doing the seats. There's a fourth thing, and that is the cab mounts. When I am cornering, I can feel things moving, or when I'm going across train tracks, I can feel this thing shaking all around, moving in ways that I know it shouldn't. So my cab mount, and then in my driveway here, it's mostly flat, but there's a hump in one spot, and when I go over that, I can hear that characteristic popping noise that definitely is an indicator that your cab mounts are worn. I can also see from below that they are dry rotted and cracked. So I've got new cab mounts in the basement already, just waiting. You have to have seats out and carpeting out in order to do that. So that's why I'm doing all these things all at one time. But those are 4 big things. Before all of that though, I have power steering problem. So you've probably noticed in my videos I've got these Popeye forearms, right? That's because this thing is so hard to steer. My neighbor and friend Jeremy put a new power steering pump in his 7.3 just a couple of weeks ago, and he borrowed something, and when he came back he parked right here on this concrete pad, and I said, oh, I want to try this out. And I just grabbed that wheel and just like it was nothing, just turned it back and forth sitting on the concrete. It was so easy. I have a hard time doing that in gravel with this truck because it's just worn out, and it's been tough to drive for a while, but in the last 3 weeks it is now starting to drip oil on the floor in the barn where I park. So it's time. You know, I kind of take pride. This is an old truck with a lot of miles, and it does not drip oil. Everyone says, oh, these drippy old diesel engines, you know, no, not mine. I keep it nice and tight. So gotta fix that to maintain my reputation. Just this morning on Rock Auto, I ordered a kit that has the power steering pump, and I'm going to replace all of the lines and also put a filter, an inline filter, in along with it. So I'll be back to smooth, easy steering. I can't wait. As for projects that are a little bit longer term, my fuel filter is completely black. And that's an indication that the O-rings that are around your injectors are wearing. And this thing pumps oil to the injectors at like 2,700 to 3,000 psi, really high pressure. And so when those O-rings start to get worn, oil can seep into your fuel system, and it just comes back on the return and goes through the filter again, makes it black. So that means I need new injectors. I could just replace the O-rings, but I cut a lot of miles on these injectors, and they don't last forever. They're only supposed to last, 200 to 300,000 miles. I know that's a wide range, and I've got 381 on this truck, but the engine may actually have less, up to 100,000 less. When I bought this truck now this is the story I was told from a used car lot in Sacramento where I bought this. It had 240 on the odometer, but they said that the guy who owned it had blown the engine and ruined it and replaced the engine with one that only had 100,000 miles on it. So even though the odometer was 240, he said the engine was 100. So if I'm at 280 or 380 now, there's a chance that my injectors are only 240. That's still a lot. So I'll be needing new ones at some point, and I think that those O-rings wearing out is enough of a reason to go ahead and do that job. I would also love to do some of the standard upgrades that a lot of people do. So a 4-inch exhaust, up pipes. What else? Oh, I would really like to do the Edge CTS3 color touchscreen. It's a monitor that you mount in the corner of your windshield with a suction cup. It connects to your OBD2 connector, and it gives you a whole bunch of gauges and some monitoring. It will do data logging too. Oh, you can also get a sensor pack for that system and add sensors for exhaust gas temperature, fuel pressure, boost. There's a few others, things that are not monitored by this engine system currently, but would be really good to have. And of course, I would love to have the brand new KC300 Gen 3 turbo. They've just developed a new turbo for this truck, and it just looks so nice. I don't usually replace things that aren't broken, so I've been eyeballing that thing for years, but this turbo works just fine. So I'm not sure what to do about that. If I need to do injectors, it would make sense to do turbo at the same time and just do my reprogramming for my computer one time. And that's just because I will be sizing up the injectors when I replace them, which will necessitate a reprogramming. So yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Tell me what you think. Let me know. Should I do it all at once? As far as my stretch goals, I have been watching videos about guys that do body swaps. They take a truck like this and remove the cab, put on like a 1975 to 1979 cab. They look so awesome. I would love to do that. So I've been watching videos from Nick Roethlisberger. Love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And plenty of others too. But that seems like such a cool, fun project, way over my head. But I love doing that, getting in where that's where I learn something new. I learn a ton when I do that. So that's one. And then even bigger is my father-in-law bought a Porsche 911, and I've had the great joy of being able to go for rides in that thing, and he's even let me drive it. He has a 2019 Turbo S, and that sucker is so amazing. It is an engineering marvel. It has more power than I would ever be able to even use. The PDK transmission is just outstanding. It shifts faster than you can snap your fingers, under full power too. You know what, maybe I'll talk to him. Maybe we can even do a video about that car sometime when we visit him next. I'm sure he'd love to do that, and that'd be fun to do. Anyways, I'll be needing one of those one of these days too. So if we're talking about bucket list stuff, that's got to be on there. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe and share with a friend. I would love to keep making videos, and I would appreciate that feedback. Thank you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.